What's up, everyone? I thought I'd kick off the new year with just turning the camera on and talking about some of my bold predictions and what's coming up with me and my channel as well. So there's no teleprompter, I have a couple of notes in front of me, and I'm just going to talk about these predictions based on what I think will happen. That means that I have no insider knowledge, I have no insight into the future. This is just what I think is going to come in 2026. So let's start with me. What's coming up for the channel in LV Codes for 2026? I'm thinking I'm going to have a paid course. I still don't know what pricing is going to look like. Let me know what you think about that. But this will be all of the essentials for Payload CMS. I'm planning on intermediate and advanced courses down the line as well, but the course that I'm planning on is going to be from start to finish, everything you need to know about Payload CMS, including some of the more advanced features that I have shown off in some of the other videos that I've done. So it's a little bit more than just like starting a project and then doing one-click deployment with the website template. It's actually going into the nitty-gritty of the collections, of the globals, of the fields, of hooks, of anything like that. So I have a good amount of the script done for that already. I'm really looking forward to getting that out in front of you guys. Again, let me know what you think about pricing there. This is my first time putting out a paid course, and I'm wondering what people would want to pay for something that takes you from A to Z all the way through everything you need to know about Payload to get started with a project. Right now, it's going to be on Gumroad. I'm looking into Udemy as well. I didn't want to build my own LMS. That seemed like a lot of extra work for a course that I don't know if it's going to take off or not, but maybe one day I will expand into having my own learning management system as well. Along with that paid course, I want to get an actual community up and running. I've tried to use Discord, but my Discord is actually very sad. I maybe have 2 or 3 people in there right now. I'm really bad at Discord though, so that's probably why it's been a little quiet there. But with the course, I would need a way to be able to communicate with those who buy the course to help give support there and also to get feedback on the course as well. So Discord seems to be the way to go, but I've worked with Slack before, so maybe you want Slack to be the community. I'm open to suggestions here as well. I just don't know what people are typically used to using when communicating with a community, or especially like a developer community. So I know Payload CMS has their official Discord. I have my official Discord that is sad, like I mentioned. But if I have a paid course, I don't want to do it without a community as well. One last thing on the paid course, I don't plan on doing any kind of like subscription or month-to-month purchasing there. It's going to be a one-time thing. And then for anything, any update with Payload CMS 3.0 that comes out, I'll update that course, and then we'll see what Payload 4.0 looks like. So if you are worried about a subscription model for the paid course, you can cast those worries aside. I will just do one-time purchase for that. I'm also looking into ways to do purchase power parity. So for currencies that are not the US dollar, which is my primary currency, I want to be able to adjust the cost of the course based on the purchasing power of that currency. I have a strong belief that education should be accessible to everyone. The only reason that this course is not going to be free is that I'm investing a lot of time and effort into getting the course up and running, and I am not turning a profit from this channel or from any of my other resources. So, gotta make money somehow. I hope you understand that. But I do plan on making it as affordable as possible, and as affordable to as many people as possible. So again, more on that coming soon. Let me know Slack or Discord. Let me know pricing that you would expect to pay for a course like that, and I'll start making decisions here in the next month or 2. I also plan on expanding my topics. You may have noticed throughout the year that I've tried to bring in more Next.js focused videos, some Tailwind videos, as well as some videos on AI, my news videos that have been coming out. I'm really experimenting with what's going to work for my YouTube channel. So I know most people are going to come to me for Payload CMS advice, tips, and tutorials, and that's what I will continue to work with as a majority of my content. So if you enjoy the Payload content, don't go anywhere. It's still going to happen very frequently. It's still going to be my primary source of content. But with that said, there's more to web dev that I want to cover. I want to get more into TanStack. I want to get more into Next.js specific topics. I want to get more into Astro and all of these other wonderful web technologies that are coming out that's more than just Next.js. And there are more people that I want to reach. And then there are topics that affect web dev that I want to cover. Things like AI, things like how to get started with coding, things like what CMS should I choose, or what database should I choose? Just any kind of topic that reaches a broader audience that still applies to web dev technology. Those are the kinds of videos that I want to do. So yes, that goes a little bit beyond Payload CMS. It goes beyond Next.js and Tailwind and all the things that I've tried to date. And I hope that you'll stick around with me as I figure out what my channel is going to look like this year. And beyond that, I actually have been toying around with the idea of a name change. Now, I know nobody in particular is attached to the name of my channel. I would be surprised if many people knew the name of my channel. But I do want something that's a little bit more memorable, or something that is a bit more personality driven, more than just my name coding. Like, that doesn't seem very interesting at all. So that's not something I'm going to lose sleep over, but hey, if you have ideas or suggestions, let me know. I wouldn't mind getting a little inspiration from you guys. And of course, with all of that new content stuff that's coming up, I have plenty to talk about, and my weekly videos will continue. So right now I have my normal like Monday video release every week that will typically continue through the new year. I also have Next in Dev, my newsletter, which I record as a video as well. Those will typically come out on Friday. So there's going to be plenty of content. You'll get at least one video from me every week. And I already have through the end of February written. I have my topics through the end of August picked out. Now, if you want to see some of those videos early, you can become a member of my channel to get access to those videos. I'll probably put most of them, if not all of them, as members only at first release, so you can get a head start on seeing what those videos look like. Now it's time for the bold predictions, and I'll start with Payload CMS, and I'm going to start with a not so bold prediction. I believe Payload will remain open source. People have talked about for a while that they think Figma is going to close it off or paywall certain features, but all of that is against the general philosophy of the Payload CMS team. Open source is so important to what they're doing now, and Figma is not going to mess with that. I do think we'll see continued rapid development with Payload as an open source product. Even today, we see that there are continually new features released that are not behind paywalls, that you would expect to be behind paywalls as the development continues. So Figma has not messed with Payload CMS so far. I don't think that they're going to. And on that, I think version 4 will be roadmapped but not released. So I think Payload CMS 3 is pretty strong. It has everything that we could really expect from a CMS so far. There's some work to be done with localization and internationalization, but that work is being done as we speak. But new changes may be coming. Again, I have no insight into this, but new changes may be coming that would result in breaking changes that make version 3 obsolete and version 4 necessary. So again, I think it'll be roadmapped, but not released, maybe released in 2027 or later. I believe that the AI tools in Payload CMS are going to be fleshed out more fully. So I think Q1 is going to be a huge quarter for all of these AI tools that have been released for Payload CMS. I think the MCP plugin is going to come out of beta fairly quickly, so that we can start using that tool to not just be a new chatbot for our Payload CMS or do basic CRUD features, but I do think that it's going to help us create actual schema. It's going to help us create globals and hooks and all these other things that we would expect an AI assistant to do for us in Payload CMS. So I'm really excited for what the team is going to do with that MCP plugin. I believe that Payload's graphical user interface for non-developer audiences will challenge other headless CMSs more directly. One thing I noticed when messing with Strappy is that creating the schema on the front end of the CMS was very natural to someone who is not a developer. So having those tools built within Payload CMS where anybody can spin up a Payload CMS project and make the changes that are necessary is what needs to happen for Payload CMS to take that next step to compete more directly with Strappy, with Sanity, with Directus. Now, me personally, I believe Payload CMS blows all of these other CMSs out of the water on almost every category. But knowing that Payload CMS is primarily a developer-focused CMS, having that option for a user interface that allows non-developers or designers to really get into the CMS and make changes is going to be huge. Now, when it comes to Figma, I believe that pretty quickly in 2026, Payload is going to become a part of the core functionality of Figma, specifically for their AI tool, Figma Make. I believe Figma is going to use Payload CMS to enable Figma Make to power full stack, fully AI-generated websites using Payload CMS as the backend. All you're going to need to do is bring a database. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but that just kind of makes sense to me. I also believe that they will continue to compete with Adobe. Now, it may not be a direct competition, but I think people forget that Adobe tried to buy Figma, that deal fell through, then Figma bought Payload CMS and Figma went public. So, I feel like I've seen a few people mention that they're afraid Adobe is going to buy Figma, but that's not going to happen. That deal fell through, there were regulatory hurdles, and Figma and Adobe are back to competing in certain verticals. So, I do think that we're going to see a bigger battle between Adobe and Figma when it comes to AI-generated tools. Though I really haven't seen Adobe in the AI-generated code space quite yet, more in the AI-generated design. So we'll see what that looks like here in the near future. I believe that the AI bubble will begin to burst. I'm not sure if any AI companies will file bankruptcy, but competition is stiff and lawsuits are abundant. We've just heard about the new lawsuit against Anthropic, XAI, OpenAI, Gemini, all of them have been sued by a group of authors, each individually, so it's not a class action lawsuit. So that's one hurdle that the AI industry needs to get over. It seems that the main thing slowing down AI companies is copyright. And I've seen Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey both endorse getting rid of copyright law, but that's just so they can train their AI for free. So regardless, the lawsuits, I think, hold solid ground because copyright law is important and AI companies should be held accountable for the plagiarism that has taken place to get the models trained to where they are today. Now, of course, Disney is out there trying to strike licensing deals with OpenAI, so there's going to be an interesting back and forth here between copyright and licenses. So really interesting what we're going to be up against here in 2026. But then again, I have been a little bit vocal about how I think OpenAI has lost a step compared to Anthropic and Gemini. I think they'll still be trying to catch their footing. They may surprise me here in a couple of weeks, but Google has just been crushing it, Anthropic's been crushing it, and OpenAI has just been in headline after headline about problem after problem. So competition is stiffening up. I do think we have our three major players, OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. But we'll see if any of those shake out of the top three. But I don't see companies like Perplexity jumping up to any top spots here. I believe internet outages will continue to increase. I think we're just going to see more outages due to complexity, speed of development, and AI tools being implemented into these large corporations with no real oversight. So we're going to see more outages. Companies will continue to add mitigation systems, but we've kind of seen what the future is going to hold here in the last quarter alone between Cloudflare and AWS, both having major outages. Google had one. Every major cloud provider has had some sort of outage or more than one outage in this quarter. So I think we're going to see more of that. I don't think we're going to see less of it. So I know Cloudflare is working on their Code Orange to mitigate the effect of any kind of outage, but I do think that we're going to continue to see outages going into the new year as well. My last bold prediction, and this is going against everything I've seen on Reddit, TanStack will not dethrone Next.js in 2026. I think it's a solid alternative, but it's still young and Next has a firm grasp in the industry. So I think Next.js really needs some kind of challenger like this, but I don't think that 2026 is the year that TanStack will take over. It's going to take a lot longer than that. Maybe it'll be in my 2027 bold predictions. I'll say it again though, I think Next.js needs a challenger. So I'm excited for TanStack's future and I'm excited to dive more into it. So those are my bold predictions for 2026. I'll check back in halfway throughout the year to see how my bold predictions are doing. So I hope you'll join me for that video in July as well. Let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter to stay up to date with the news throughout the web dev industry. Thanks for watching or listening. I'll see you in the next one.